Okay, I think I am on. Now, let me open this up if there are any. Okay, pause. Ooh, no. We're not listening. Oh, dang, 8 people watching. Hello, 8 people. Yes, 8 people. Okay, so the start because hours are sponsored by Stack being linked in the comments, our Stack Exchange proposal to get academic vocal conversation popping. I'm going to be reading some of the questions that were recently added to our Stack Exchange. If you want to reserve extra time for your questions at the beginning of these office hours, which are recorded and archived, good question. And they have a Google or Facebook, I think it is easy to set it up. Okay, let me link this to the Facebook group. Oh my God. I know Nick says something that's going to be upset in these YouTube comments. Let me look back at this. No, banned. Okay. I'm too Christian to answer that question. Okay. So, wow. Okay. So man with no plan is definitely making a plan on my heart with these questions. These really good questions. I suggest if you want to see these questions so you can sort of follow along as I'm answering them. God, I wish I could upvote all of them. Like y'all should need to get on here and upvote these amazing questions. Yeah, I'm probably just take the whole hour just to answer these. These are so good. You are knocking it out. These questions. Okay, so let me start with what is modal voice. Man with no plan, who's also on the Discord server, asks, so what is modal voice? So let's look at word mode. Modal deriving from, which is the adjective version of the word mode. In statistics or data sets, mode is the number that appears the most frequently in a data set. So say if you are looking at how many kids on the average household, the average American household, and people always say like, oh, I want the white picket fence dream and my 2.5 kids. So 2.5 would usually be the average, but you can't have no 2.5 kids unless you have a half-breed spawn like Dakota as one of your children. So that would be the mean, but the mode is probably most oftentimes American families, at least at the time that was the statistic or something like that was the statistic, had 2 kids. So that's the number that would appear the most frequently in that data set. So yeah, that is the mode. So the mode in general is like what happens most frequently. And of the use of the voice, the most frequent usages of voice in common society are how voices are used in speech. So in an effort to describe voice in a way that is relatable, people often describe M1 or chest voice in some other formulation, or even sometimes M2 as images of mechanisms or registers, mechanisms describe what is most commonly heard in speech. Modal voice, M chest. Can include chest, neck, which lighter M2 within a certain range or zone about just in when people get sing-songy when they talk. So I personally span at least 5 octaves when I talk. But for those who are not as blessed, it can usually be inside like a max 3-octave range of what is included. So that is some of what is meant by modal voice. But I also use the term in my own pedagogy to likewise refer to stuff is common or dealing some of the lower belts that you might use while you are speaking, where you might be like, taxi! And that is like a kind of you would actually use in real life. It's supposed to know what belts like, taxi! Like that hot taxi. Maybe me, but who listens to me? Nobody. Okay, so what is singing from the diaphragm? A lie! Next, what determines voice fog? I'll get back to that one. What determines voice fog? I really wanted to talk about this one and the one underneath it, because this was so good, and I'm so sick of diaphragms. So, what determines voice fog? So, there's a lot of potential predispositions to different voice fogs. For those of you that don't know what a fach or facher, plural, I did not make this up, I promise, I swear to God. It's a designation of range, mezzo, soprano, and huge that's used to pigeonhole people into certain vocal categories. Well, I believe these are useful prescriptive to all of you try to ever escape that, you will get Crystal will rescind your voice. Like it really turn in depths. Obviously, your range, it's usually like your 2 strongest octaves, octave weight of your voice that's dependent on several factors where you normally get fach. So if you have a heavier tone, that means if you have a heavier tone to your voice, somewhere inside you'll be like a baritone or bass. And there might be like a mezzo. I guess a little bit of how fach works. Now, what determines if you have a voice that will exhibit that kind of behavior? Oh no. Okay, is my voice still like glitching out? Hopefully. Oh my God, yes, blowing your mind. I could blow some other things too, but this is YouTube. Okay, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so we're talking about actual biological features that can go into so the why you end up at a certain fach is vocal cord length and thickness that will affect might be easiest for your voice at first. Like this is set in stone. So you have longer vocal folds and thicker vocal folds on the pleats of the facher, and then vice versa, shorter and to get you placed higher. So that is where some of like biological sex play a role in where you tend to get fach. A lot of it is really nurture. I would say maybe 30% of vocally is native, and 70% is often like if you go into like a certain with English, if you're an American born, that's what you were exposed to. But what people like sometimes you can have a high voice because that's what you were exposed to. Sometimes you can have a low voice. Sometimes you can have a twangy voice because that's what you're exposed to. So it all, a lot of vocal changes can come from exposure as well as biology and so what we kind of like actively try to train in our voices. Like there's linguistic studies that show that African American vernacular English, commonly known as Ebonics or Black Sense, is more predisposed to have males using M2, so like higher pitches and like woo kind of sounds in their daily speech than their male counterparts. And I think that may how you often see men from the African American community using M2 more than their white male counterparts. So that is something that I don't think relates to biology at all. And even my own voice being as high as it is not necessarily because of some biological predisposition. Both I don't even talk about my parents because like that also turns into nature versus nurture. But like it's actually more tiring for my voice high things all the time than it is, and I rebound into my voice being kind of like bassy after I do like enough belting, after I do enough whistle register, after like I talk in femme voice for long enough, my voice will rebound into this like M0 like comfort zone. So I don't think necessarily that my vocal cords, I mean, I haven't gotten them like measured against what the average person has, but I don't think my vocal cords are necessarily even much thinner than the average males. If anything, they might be like a little bit thicker. So a lot of my high notes and stuff that I'm known for and learned, and not necessarily something that came about because I just have this folds. I mean, I don't have an Adam's apple, but that's another moment for another time. So those are some of the things that determine vocal fach, what you're sort of trained into, gender as well as behaviors for what can engender, no pun intended, behaviors like you're taught that if you in say with chess, so that and I've definitely seen like in middle school a lot of guys would artificially start forcing themselves to sound deeper because that's what they felt like they had to do, and eventually like notice if you keep making that voice, it gets stuck like that. So yeah, that's what turns vocal fach. I want to spend like a lot of time on this because people keep coming at their neck about how I'm a baritone, so I could never. I'm a soprano, so I could never. It's like if you don't want to, that's on you. That's fine. So like you are born in this thing, and that you couldn't fight it even if you tried, because you probably ain't even tried yet. Is vocal stamina a real thing? Yes, it is. If you've ever been to a concert, if you've ever been to a club, if you've ever been to a bar, if you've ever been to like a loud birthday enough, and you experienced what vocal stamina and the loss of that stamina is like. And training your voice in a more efficient way can resolve voice lasting long by acting like you have the consumption every time you lose your voice. It's like anything else that is controlled by muscles. Those muscles can be hypertrophied into being stronger. Hypertrophy is like when you break down a muscle and it builds back up stronger than it was before. And people are so familiar with that concept. Like your biceps, yeah, I can do bicep curls. My biceps gets bigger. My quads, yeah, I can do leg presses and they'll get bigger. My chest, yeah, like I can do bench presses and maybe get rid of these man boobs. But when it comes to the voice, everybody does that, and that like suddenly is no longer a thing, that you can't like work out a muscle and have it get bigger, badder, faster, stronger, whatever the Daft Punk song goes. Like that suddenly these are not an option anymore. And while yes, So your vocal folds aren't muscle. Though the position of your larynx, and all those muscles can be trained to be even stronger risk than you would be you just never exercised your voice. Because you have more control over your voice and you can exert behaviors on your voice for longer rather than just like you fall into fatigue and your voice does what it does. And what else? Even like the tissue. Not that I'm an advocate of like strength training the mucosal outer layers of tissue on your vocal folds, but even in that, as Nelly tell you, he's probably popping off in the chats right now, as he will gladly tell you, doing light with mucosal layer of them heal quicker. Nothing. Stamina through vocal activity is a good thing. Do it. What effect does yelling have on the voice? An honor? How can... Okay. I will get to these questions. Oh, no. Am I still glitching? Still wet. I'm so annoyed. How could you let this be, YouTube? Let me look up for... Okay. I will get to Iced Cream's question after I finish this last Stack Exchange question. Let me see on the server if people are hearing at all. Wait, is Hayden not in the server anymore? I'm upset. Y'all still hearing me? Discord, let me know. Discord, explain. Okay. I don't understand. Okay, well, y'all, somebody link the Discord link, the permanent one, not the one that's transient, in the YouTube chat, please, so people here who aren't on the server can still at least hear the audio. Okay. You can hear. Hopefully it's y'all, not me. Please up the view free effort. It helps me get nice things like food and tea. Let me get some of this tea. Let me see if anybody is sending me messages in real life. Please don't be. Okay, good. Yeah, thank you, Satan, for that update. Okay, what affects yelling be one really powerful means of hypertrophying the adductors, the vocal cord adductors, and don't ask me to name which ones because you will be sorry. Adduct can keep the vocal cord in a note during this like high pressure phonation. That cat yelling at the club is one kind of thing. I mean, like yelling two sides of the same exact thing, except like belting tends to be more controlled, and yelling is the same exact behavior, just in speech, like where you run out of energy quicker. Like I run out of energy because I have a very inefficient way of talking with like asymmetrical vocal tension. Yelling will burn me out pretty quickly. I need to work on being less lazy. No, it's me. Wait, it's me. You said you can hear me, but then it's me. VCR is Like, how can people choose? Oh, wait, did it block the link being posted? Because apparently, yeah, it won't let me look at the Mean Girls. Like, if you posted the Mean Girls link. Okay, last question from Man with No Plan is, what is singing from the diaphragm? A lie, a delusion, an illusion, a hallucination, a mirage. You're always using a diaphragm and you're always using your throat in order to sing, in order to make any kind of note or noise with your vocal folds. You are always using both of those things. So there really no real helpful information given by asking someone to sing from the diaphragm. But what it might mean in some cases is some people do the work of getting your vocal, like squeeze and pinch your vocal with some type of laryngeal musculature. But that's one thing. That's just one. And circles of hell. Potential interpret terminology so much. I have a conspiracy theory that, like, of why school are in elementary school, and you learn what in elementary school. All these things you learn by third grade, and then like the people that go on to spread popular voice pedagogy just never learn anything past that. Just never went to no more school past the class where they got their vocal cords, like vocal fold area, the epiglottis, like like all the muscles and innervation that make these things work together. Just use it to explain everything. It's like, oh, you can't belt? Try adjusting your diaphragm. Oh, you can't do runs? Try adjusting your diaphragm. Try adjusting your diaphragm. Did your grandmother die? Try adjusting your diaphragm. Like, no, nobody at actually at vocal fold a doctor engagement, and that may be underneath some like pitch sensitivity drilling. Do runs, maybe work vocal fold, know it in diaphragm, and people would just rather look at this one muscle that you've been using all your life, and I promise it's not diaphragm. You wouldn't be here right now listening to me talk about you can use your diaphragm. You need it to live. Like, you use it in your sleep. It's easy. You can use every night, or else you would not be here listening to this. So all these things that can be addressed at the direct level of the involved, they just want to run to the diaphragm because it's like the one vocally related muscle that they learn. And I'm just not here for it. I'm not gonna pretend to be any longer. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. So that is all for the questions that I am seeing right now. Let me refresh on these. Oh, wow. Oh, dang. Somebody added a question 9 minutes ago. Okay, Zion. Okay, with this last minute. How does one beautify the extremities of their vocal range or extend their range? One closed? What is a closed question? Wait, what? Oh, okay, wait. What? Okay. Y'all mean. Y'all being bullies in these question sections. Okay. So how does their vocal range or extend their range? I'll determine um, how to really help you until I figure out what you think is beautiful. Times you can at least nine or unwanted fry or unwanted glottal, and how you do that I think can also fold into how you should go about extending your range. So people often view extending your range as a very linear process, that it's just to get higher and higher and higher. I push harder and harder, and I try harder and harder and harder, and I pray to Jesus to give me these notes harder and harder and harder. And that's a helpful way to view it as like linear or logarithmic or exponential. Instead, I view it as a kind of like multiphasic equation. It's kind of like almost what's it called? Polynomial, like a polynomial function. Like sometimes you'll go up and sometimes you go down, and sometimes like doing a E6 is kind of difficult and involves a little bit of squeezing sometimes for me. So doing that involves some work, but then going up next door and doing the F6 in M3, also known as whistle register, that's a lot easier than that E6 was, because I'm using an entirely different strategy. So I think a lot of extending your range is learning what each extension entails, how to find each action, not just like bulldoze through all the barriers with this as I go higher more and more. Because every zone of range to help you get into it and to help you make it stronger and to help you beautify it. And you really have to approach the coordinations for what they are, not just think higher is higher, lower is lower. Like, and sometimes I feel like certain lower notes and certain higher notes like might have something energy of how I'm supposed to get them. Like the 7th octave of whistle, once I get it happening consistently, has some things in common with the 2nd octave of chest voice or M1 or whatever with me, in that I feel like a lot of the work is stabilization, is getting it to stay on one pitch, because it's such a like a coordination that can just be thrown off pitch with fluctuation in pressure or posture, and that I have to build up these stabilizing processes so that the tension in my vocal cords doesn't change and throw me to like another note on the other side of that octave. So that's one thing. Thank you for that question. So really try to itemize what coordinations do you need to thrive in this range, and really learn the ins and outs of that coordination, rather than just being like, I'm going to be high, I'm going to be low. Like really think about what kind of range you're working on. Okay. I always do. Painters get back, or whatever Miranda says. Painters go home. How's the voice here? I go. Redeem. Bitch. Oh my god, my opera 2 balance. Let me see if I can. Okay, so before I do that, the ice, are they watching something in response? But the only problem is I didn't get the link from you in time, and if I listen to music on this, I might get like a copy strike, so I'm gonna have to answer afterwards. Okay, let's look at where Youthro has maybe a request for me. Oh, but I don't know if I can listen to this either. Can I listen to this? The Eurovision? Well, no, I feel like if I play this, I might get copyright strike. Dang, I can't do nothing. I guess all I can do is redeem myself. Let me turn these fans on. I try to leave them off because I don't know how much it is. Y'all gonna have to suffer. So let me quickly get to Yuko's thing, and then hours I will. I'm not Yuko's thing. Let me quickly get to this. See if I can redeem myself. Do these about. So if you haven't heard this song, it's Opera Number 2 by Vitas. So in M2, it's just the standard way of doing it. Let me get this tea. Oh God, I'm so scared. That's. I'm not gonna do that nearly as long for the M1 attempt. But let's see what I can do. Oh my God, I'm so dry. This is gonna be awful. I doing it in M1, which was okay. Never again. Never again. Yeah. Hopefully that satisfied your fetishes and perverted desires. I was in Discord now. Oh yeah. Yale was asking about a belting module soon. Okay, did I do it? I did. Oh. How you become Beyonce? When you find enough time to Destiny's Child and you energy and chakra. Oh my God. That's Selena. No, not yet. I honestly don't know enough about it to throw shade at her. Like exchange, I still got some time left, so y'all trying to ask these questions. God, I am sweating. I am suffering. Oh, let me get in the way of this fan. This light, I think this light generates a lot of heat. But I'm gonna look like some this light, which I might. So Tom, I don't think I should thank you for me to ignore the mean comment me. Selena knows the high note is coming. Oh my God. Oh my God. I plead the fifth. Good, y'all